Hello, welcome to ASEAN Today. This month from Myanmar, I'm Dalton Tanonaka of Indonesia's Metro TV.
I'm Sherwin of Myanmar's MRTV, and this is your monthly look at the dynamic Southeast Asia region. Leaders here in Myanmar say plans are on schedule to take the ASEAN chair in October.
Yes, they've been working hard here and abroad in preparation. A new convention center in the capital Naypyidaw is being built along with an improved transportation system and new hotels. Myanmar diplomats participated in workshops in Jakarta in May, followed by sessions in Berlin and Brussels. They were designed to exchange expertise and experiences with leaders involved in international organizations such as the EU and NATO. The handover of the chairmanship will take place in Brunei at the 23rd ASEAN Summit. Opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi has made her future plans clear. The parliament member declared her intention to run for president in 2015 elections, saying she wants more people to benefit from ongoing reforms. She was speaking at a session of the World Economic Forum in Naypyidaw on June 5th.
Let's be open about it. There are those who say that I shouldn't say I would like to be president, but then if I pretended that I didn't want to be president, I wouldn't be honest, and I would rather be honest with my people than otherwise.
But her candidacy would require a constitutional change. The law presently blocks anyone from running with a spouse or children of non-Myanmar citizenship. Suu Kyi's sons are British nationals.
ASEAN members involved in a territorial conflict in the South China Sea heard directly from China. The venue was the Asia-Pacific Security Forum in Singapore on May 31st. China and the Philippines separately expressed desires to reach a peaceful resolution. China made a point to say that the issue should be solved only by the parties involved.
同时我们和菲律宾关于解决黄岩岛争端的这个对话的渠道也是畅通的，所以说没有必要通过法律国际法庭来仲裁。
We'll direct China to respect our sovereign rights and jurisdiction over our exclusive economic zone. Continental shelf, contiguous zone. We hope that there will be no adverse effects on our trade relations with China.
Attending the meeting for the first time were U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel and European Union Foreign Policy Chief Catherine Ashton. The so-called Shangri-La dialogue also addressed concerns over North Korea's nuclear program. Protests of censorship were heard over Singapore's new internet policy. The rule now requires news websites to obtain license and remove offensive content. Thousands demonstrated against the policy on June 8th. Specifically, websites that report regularly on Singaporean news and attract at least 50,000 visitors a month are required to obtain annual license. And any content considered objectionable by the government must be removed within 24 hours of notification. The new rule has affected 10 websites so far.
Thailand's capital is the first Asian city to top an international list for most popular destinations. The MasterCard Global Destination Cities Index says that Bangkok is the #1 destination for international visitors, topping London. Thailand is expected to welcome 16 million tourist arrivals this year. Many go to see the magnificent Grand Palace, the official residence of the country's royal family, and sampling local food specialties at Khao San Road. Organizers of the Miss World Beauty pageant say a ban on bikinis won't affect the overall show in Indonesia, the international event set to be held in Bali and West Java this September. A regular part of the competition is a swimsuit category, but the Indonesia Ulema Council says the traditional use of bikinis goes against Islamic teachings. Organizers agreed to instead use beach sarongs during the swimwear portion. Conservative Muslim protests in the past have forced the cancellations of concerts, including one by U.S. artist Lady Gaga.
The globally known soft drinks Coca-Cola is now being bottled here in Myanmar after a 60 years absence. The return of Coke is among the business opportunities already realized as Myanmar builds a free market economy. The U.S. company set up the bottling plant in a suburb of Yangon with a 5-year plan worth $200 million. Coke says the investment will help create more than 22,000 jobs. Myanmar got the chance to tell the story of positive reform at the World Economic Forum held in the capital. ASEAN Today's Zelda Savitri reports.
This was Myanmar's first major international forum after decades of military rule. The World Economic Forum of East Asia attracted more than 1,000 representatives from business, government, academia, and social institutions from 55 countries. Opposition leader and Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi attended the forum, urging the government to acknowledge what their people want and to fulfill their needs.
Reform has not brought the kind of changes that our people want. And how long will they go on waiting for it? We don't want them to lose faith in the reform process.
The president of the Philippines came to promote investment and tourism, saying his country has changed its ways to attract investors even more.
This is the perfect time to invest in the Philippines. More and more opportunities have been created, both as a result and as an affirmation of our commitment to reform. We know that sustained, inclusive growth that benefits investors and the public alike can only be achieved through longevity.
The three-day regional forum had as one of its themes transformation, something host Myanmar hoped delegates would see when they came. Zelda Savitri for ASEAN Today.
More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
We will hear from the man recently re-elected to lead his country. Prime Minister Najib Razak talks about Malaysia's ASEAN goals. He's in the hot seat next.
You're watching ASEAN Today.
And we are in Yangon this month for a look at the people and places of Southeast Asia. Malaysia's Prime Minister faces a tough job following recent voting marred by charges of election fraud. Najib Razak says the opposition has a role to play in the country's development drive. The 59-year-old leader talked with ASEAN Today's Johanna Margareta during a recent visit to Jakarta.
We stand by our principle, by our position that the elections were conducted freely and fairly. And if people dispute about elections, then they have to go through the process. They have to adduce evidence, real evidence, not allegations, mere allegations or hearsay. It has to be based on solid evidence. And that's the position of the government. As far as we're concerned, we want to look forward, look ahead. It's important for us because we have the trust of the people. You know, the people have placed their trust on us, and we have to deliver that. So my number one priority, the priority of our Barisan National Government, is to ensure that all election promises are delivered, and secondly, for us to continue this momentum. We've done very well the last 4 years, and we want to step up the momentum so that the transformation agenda for the nation is fully realized.
Yeah, so what about the opposition? Is there a role for the leader of the opposition, Anwar Ibrahim?
Well, he's the leader of opposition, and we respect that he's leader of opposition, and we hope in the parliamentary democracy, the system that we have in Malaysia, there's always a role for the head of the opposition. It's how he wants to play it as the head of the opposition. For example, in Parliament, he can air his views. He can make certain specific suggestions, and certainly we will give due consideration to any sort of proposals made by the opposition. As you know, even the electoral process underwent a lot of changes, and quite a bit of the suggestions were actually made by the opposition, and we took on board. So we are not a government that says no to everything the opposition wants or suggests to us, but at the same time we want an opposition that is constructive, because we're talking about nation building.
So what is Malaysia's immediate economic goal?
Our immediate goal for the nation
is to achieve the status of fully developed nation by the year 2020. We're mindful of the fact that we only have 7 years to go, and we cannot lose time. There cannot be excessive politicking. We must get down to work. We must ensure that we are very, very focused to implementing our national vision.
So does Malaysia want to play a different or bigger role in ASEAN?
No, we are quite pleased with the role that we are playing, and of course ASEAN is based on the ASEAN way, which is basically consensus. So everybody has a role to play, and whoever has the chairmanship of ASEAN, and that's the country that has to take the lead for that particular year. And Malaysia will have, we will have our turn come the year 2015.
2015 is the year when the ASEAN Economic Community is scheduled to become reality. More ASEAN Today is coming up shortly.
We will head to the beach destinations in Indonesia that's not Bali, and we meet an artist in the Philippines with a trademark feature.
This is ASEAN Today.
And we are in the business center, Myanmar, Yangon. An artist in the Philippines is finding commercial success with a signature feature in his work. ASEAN Today's Antita Winter has a story.
It was in late 2005 when the art world began to take notice of Dominic Rubio. His long-necked characters were unlike anything anyone had seen before. The 42-year-old artist struggled in his early years, and he considered giving up because no one seemed interested in his work. Now more than 200 of his paintings have been sold in Manila and abroad. He says that the trademark long necks are symbols of his characters coming from a proud race, with their heads held high. Art lovers approved.
Error, tapos nagustuhan nila, mataba pa yung leeg. Hindi pa ganong kapayat, inadjust ko, tapos yung kamay, malaki pa, pero mahaba ang leeg, malaki yung kamay, inadjust ko, yun, timpla-timpla, hanggang sa naramdaman ko, parang nasa tono na.
Rubio's characters are set in the colonial Philippines and old Asia, evoking nostalgia among contemporary art lovers.
It's unique because no other artists are doing it the way he's executing the paintings. And most of the guests that I receive, they all, it's easy to understand. They all appreciate it, they all like it, especially when I purchase pieces where it's sort of symbolic of our family. It's always very special for me.
Parang pang-asar. Yung cute na ano, parang hindi mala kung matutumba o hindi. Ang liit nung pa, maliit yung kamay.
A 30 by 24-inch Rubio painting now sells for $2,000 to $3,000. Among his best-known works, scenes of families captured on canvas in unique Rubio style. Antita Winda for ASEAN Today.
Here are several events on the ASEAN calendar. The Singapore Food Festival will run at Marina Bay Sands from July 12th to the 21st. Indonesia's Bali Kite Festival is on at Sanur Beach on July 15th and 16th, and Thailand's Candle Festival will light up in Ubon Ratchathani on the 22nd and 23rd of July. Islands off the eastern coast of Indonesia's Sumatra Island shine like jewels in the sun. The beaches of Belitung are growing in visitor popularity. ASEAN Today's Korisha Putri reports.
This recent festival marked the beginning of what government officials hope will be a steady boost in visitor attention. The traditional customs and culture of the area were on full display, with performers dressed up in costumes that dance the day away.
Ya, acaranya cukup bagus untuk mengembangkan pariwisata Belitung ya.
Also on display was the natural beauty of the beaches here. Belitung's Tanjung Tinggi is 30 kilometers north of the capital Tanjung Pandang. the most popular beach destination for ocean lovers. Visitors can take a direct flight from Jakarta to Tanjung Pandang, then rent a car and drive to the beach. Here, you'll find clean white sand and massive granite rocks that complement a clear blue sea.
Kita berharap dengan melakukan festival dan karnaval seperti ini, maka nama Belitung itu akan makin dikenal sebagai pusat pembangunan pariwisata yang dikenal di Indonesia.
Provincial officials plan to make this festival an annual event to keep the tourists coming. Tin is Bangka Belitung's most important natural resource, but the goal is to develop the tourism sector to diversify the local economy.
Investors are now seriously eyeing on Belitung for tourism development. Hotels and resorts are sprawling alongside the beautiful beaches, and thus now the island needs qualified hospitality manpower and also a much better infrastructure.
Korisha Putri for ASEAN Today, Belitung, Indonesia.
We like to get your feedback and appreciate hearing from you throughout ASEAN. Gade had this to say on Twitter: "Glad to have a program like ASEAN Today. Truly excited to watch it again. We like your enthusiasm, Gade." Another tweet, this one from Aziza: "It's such an informative program. Looking forward to watching it weekly." Thank you for wanting more of us, Aziza. And this tweet is from Afdillah: "Is there a chance for training for international relations students at the ASEAN Secretariat?" Well, internships are offered, Afdillah. Send your CV to asean.hr@asean.org to be considered. Let us know what you're thinking out there. Please email us at aseantoday.tv@gmail.com, post something on our Facebook page, or tweet us at ASEANTodayTV. A Bangkok department store was recently transformed into an orchid lover's paradise.
There was also competitions involved in the 7th year of a major flower exhibition. The event is held to promote the orchids as a national icon of Thailand, as well as celebrating the Queen's birthday. Thousands of flowers were on display, including these 2.5-meter tall orchid elephants. Purebred orchids and hybrid plants from 9 species and 120 types were shown. Commentators hope to win the award for most beautiful plant. And that's ASEAN Today for this month from Yangon. I'm Sharon Win from Myanmar's Myanmar TV.
And I'm Dalton Tanonaka of Indonesia's Metro TV. Terima kasih, and see you again next month.